Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it.
This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law?
No.
And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
In a high-stakes Senate hearing, John Kennedy put Kash Patel on the spot with one of the most controversial questions surrounding the Epstein case, the circumstances of Jeffrey Epstein's death. But before getting there, Kennedy built a broader argument about trust in federal institutions, accountability, and whether the American public is being told the full truth. Kennedy's questioning followed a deliberate pattern. He began by establishing the principle of equal treatment under the law, emphasizing that no one, not even a judge, is above federal law. This set the tone for what would become a larger critique of perceived inconsistencies within the justice system. By walking through examples, he highlighted concerns that rules may not always be applied evenly, depending on who is involved. He then shifted to past controversies within the FBI, bringing up figures like Peter Strzok and Lisa Page.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI, Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump, and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon-to-be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, the story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Reid.
Kennedy moved into another major controversy, the Hunter Biden's laptop story. He pointed out that federal authorities had possession of the device before the 2020 election, yet public messaging at the time suggested it could be linked to disinformation. This, Kennedy argued, added to a pattern where critical information was not fully shared with the public when it mattered most. All of this set the stage for the most anticipated question of the hearing. Kennedy asked directly whether Epstein had taken his own life or whether foul play was involved. The question reflects a widespread skepticism that has persisted since Epstein was found dead in a federal detention facility in 2019. The case has fueled numerous theories, largely because of the high-profile individuals connected to Epstein and the circumstances surrounding his death. Patel responded clearly, stating that he believes Epstein died by suicide. However, he also acknowledged that the investigation and release of information are still ongoing processes. He indicated that the Department of Justice is working to provide more transparency, but also emphasized the need to protect sensitive material, particularly information related to victims. For viewers, this is where the issue becomes more complex. Official findings have concluded that Epstein died by suicide, yet public doubt remains high. This gap between official conclusions and public perception is often driven by unanswered questions, such as security failures at the detention facility and the lack of complete transparency around investigative details. Kennedy pressed further, asking when the public could expect a full release of information. Patel responded that efforts are underway and suggested that more details could be made available in the near future. However, he did not provide a specific timeline, which leaves room for continued speculation and frustration. What makes this exchange significant is not just the answer itself, but the broader context in which it was asked. Kennedy's line of questioning reflects a growing demand for clarity and accountability from federal agencies. Whether it is election-related controversies, internal conduct, or high-profile criminal cases, there is increasing pressure on institutions to demonstrate transparency. At the same time, Patel's responses highlight the challenges of balancing transparency with legal and ethical obligations. Releasing too much information too quickly can risk compromising investigations or exposing sensitive details, while withholding information can erode public trust. Navigating that balance is one of the central challenges facing law enforcement agencies today. The Epstein case remains one of the most scrutinized in recent history, not only because of the crimes involved, but also because of the unanswered questions that continue to surround it. Each hearing, each statement, and each document release adds another piece to a puzzle that many believe is still incomplete. As this hearing demonstrated, the debate is far from settled. While officials may present conclusions, lawmakers and the public continue to push for more answers. Whether those answers will fully resolve the controversy remains uncertain. If you want clear, in-depth explanations of moments like this that go beyond the headlines, make sure you follow and stay informed, because the next update on this case could change the conversation entirely.